Omagyanatmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitan Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we are continuing with our Śaraṇāgati study, and we took a pause on studying the book, but no doubt we've all been practicing it in our daily lives, whether willingly or unwillingly. Right? If we're very fortunate, then Krishna's pushing us to Śaraṇāgati. So even if we have moments of not wanting to practice Śaraṇāgati because of what we previously signed up for, then we have some higher guardians, helping us out. That's why when we have our moments of clarity, it's like good to sign up for something, commit. And then when you're not feeling inspired, it's like you're kind of stuck. Oh, too late. You already committed, I'm doing this regular, whatever it is, right? I promise, so I got to do it. This is also what our life of sadhana is about, right? Like some days you're feeling it, some days you're not, but you made that promise, right? And our Gurudev, he once said that initiation means a promise that, I will practice Krishna consciousness no matter what. It is a promise to our Guru and to the Lord. Okay, so where are we, Suvasini Didi?
In this song 22, this is Vishram Bhatmika, this confidence in the Lord's protection, this section. And we did this song, the first song in that section, and we are going to do the next song now, 22. Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. Yeah. Can you pass me Papaniji and Amrita? So we're beginning confidence in the Lord's protection. Is that
the second song on
the second song? Yeah. Okay. I just want to look up Srila Sridhar Maharaj's comments about this limb of Śaraṇāgati, confidence in the Lord's protection. Oh, the markers on this chakra. So Rakshishyatiti Vishwasaha. So this is like the companion book to Śaraṇāgati. Although I feel like that diminishes it in a way because it stands on its own as well. But they go side by side. They support one another. I'm sure Marie will have a better way of explaining that than me. She's very articulate, Marie. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj, in each of the chapters on these limbs of Śaraṇāgati, surrender, he has his own original verse, which is drawing out the essence of what this mood of surrender is. And so I just want to look at this. For this mood of surrender, confidence in the Lord's protection, this is Srila Sridhar Maharaj's verse. Rakshishyati mam Krishno bhakta nam bandavaschasa chemam vidasyatiti yad vishvaso traiva griyate. Certainly Lord Krishna will protect me because he is the friend of the devotees. He will definitely bless us with all auspiciousness and success. So, this reminds me of how our Gurudev, he used to speak about optimism, right? Being optimistic in our spiritual life. Why? Because we're always hopeful of receiving Krishna's mercy. Krishna will definitely take care of me. Of course, he may not take care of us in the way that we expect. He may take care of us by giving us more trouble, but it is all for the same purpose, right? Of helping us in our growth. So that optimism will be there in the heart of a faithful devotee because they have confidence. Oh, the Lord is my friend. The Lord is there. The Lord is all-seeing, all-knowing, all-powerful, and he will and can definitely help me, as it is expressed here. So we're hearing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs. And so now we're on the second song in this section. And Suvasini, do you want to lead us in reading this?
Yes, okay, yeah. Umittamari bheyare ketare rakite pare tava ichha vasha tribhuvana Brahma adi devagana tava dasa aganana kare tava ajnara palana. Who can protect one whom you will kill? The three worlds are subservient to your will. Brahma and the countless demigods are your servants and carry out your orders. So it's a commentary for this by Srila Guru Maharaj. Yeah, Tumita Maribe Tava Ichavasha Tribhuvana. The three worlds are subservient to your will. Krishna describes his unassailable will to Arjuna just before the battle of Kurukshetra. Mayavaite nihataha purvameva nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. All the warriors on this battlefield have already been killed by me. O Arjuna, simply be my instrument. Brahma adi devagana kare tava ajnara palana. Brahma and the countless demigods carry out your orders. Brahma himself describes this in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srijami tan niktoham haro harati tad pashaha vishvam purusha rupena paripati tri shakti drik. In accordance with the order of Sri Hari, I create the universe and Shiva annihilates it. Sri Hari, the controller of the three modes of material nature, maintains the universe with his form of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Okay, so go back to the second verse now. Tava ichha mate yata graha ghana avirata shubha shubha phala kare dhana roga shoka mritti bhaya tava ichha mate haya tava agnya sadha balavan. In accordance with your will, all the planets perpetually exert their auspicious and inauspicious influences. Disease, lamentation, death, and fear all occur in accordance with your will. Your orders are always predominant. Tavabaye vayuvaya chandra surya samudhaya swasva niyamita karya kare tumita parameshwara para brahma paratpara tavavasa bhakata antare. Out of fear of you the wind blows, and the moon, the sun, and all the celestial bodies perform their respective duties. You are the Supreme Lord, the unparalleled Supreme Absolute. You reside in the hearts of your devotees. So the commentary here, Tavavasa Bhakata Antare, you reside in the hearts of your devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishnu explains, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tuham mad anyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. Sadhus are my heart and I alone am their heart. They do not know anyone other than me and I do not know anyone other than them. Srila Narottam Thakur sings about this in Prarthana. Tomara hridaya sada Govinda Vishrama Govinda Kakena Mama Vaishnava Parana. Govinda always rests in your heart and he declares, my devotees are my heart. Okay. I think I went back. Yeah. So the fourth verse. Sada Shuddha Siddha Kama Bhakata Vatsala Nama Bhakata Janere Nitya Swami Tumita Rakhibe Yare Ke Thare Marite Pare Sakala Vidhira Vidhi Tumi. You are eternally pure. Your desires are always fulfilled. You are known as Bhakta Vatsal, he who is affectionate to his devotees. You are the eternal master of your devotees. Who can kill one whom you will protect? You are the author of all destinies. The commentary here, Siddha Kama, your desires are always fulfilled. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the demigods describe the Lord in this way. Avismitam tam paripurna kamam svenaiva labhena samam prashantam vinopasatam hi balishaha sva langulena titharti sindhum. The eternally smiling Supreme Lord is never surprised by anything. His desires are always fulfilled. He is self-sufficient, equanimous, and peaceful. One who rejects him and approaches anyone else for shelter is certainly a fool. He is like one who desires to cross the ocean by taking hold of a dog's tail. Bhakta Janera Nitya Swami, you are the eternal master of your devotees. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, Srimad Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu named vaishyosti na priyaha e bhajanti tumam bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. I'm equally disposed to all. No one is my enemy or my friend. Yet, those who serve me with devotion, as they are lovingly attached to me, so I am lovingly attached to them. And the last verse. Tomara charane nata kariyache pranipata bhakati vinoda tava dasa. Vipadaha ite swami avashyatahare tumi rakshibe tahara e vishwasa. O Lord, your servant Bhakti Vinod has offered his obeisance at your feet. O Master, you will certainly protect him from all danger. This is his fate.
Wow, so beautiful. Didi, you want to share any reflections?
Actually, there are two things discussed in this song. I think one is like the Lord being all powerful, and also he can give protection. And also the other thing, the later verses, he said he's very dear to the devotees. He's always like, the heart of his devotees is protecting the devotees. So both things we see, right? His first few verses, he says about how, everything is under his control. He's taking care of everything. Out of fear of you, the wind blows and the moon and the sun perform their duties. But he's also very, very dear to the devotees. He's a friend of the devotees, Bhakata Vatsal. That's also being discussed, saying here, the last two verses.
Sounds like the best friend one could possibly have.
Yeah.
All powerful, all loving.
Yeah. Our friend is the most powerful one. Yeah, like that. Yeah. So he says to the both points. Yeah, isn't it? So.
Very nice, Didi. Very nice. Anyone else want to share some reflections? Marie, you want to share something?
I'm just having songs that I know, like run through my head faster than I can keep track of them.
Cross-referencing.
Yeah, cross-referencing, which, by the way, is a terrible pun that you actually made. But
Oh, really?
well, because because most of it is from like Christian music and hymns and stuff, and so
Mhm.
it's like cross-referencing and anyway, it's an accidental pun, but I find it
Okay.
absolutely delightful.
Well, I'm glad you're delighted, Marie.
But I don't know how to like even prioritize it to share it right now. I've got stuff from the Psalms and stuff from hymns and stuff from
Uh-huh.
contemporary Christian music all like blending together.
Well, we're feeling your vibration and we're also delighted. Well, yeah, the Suvasanjali made some very nice points. And I'll just add a few other thoughts, and this is something that Srila Sridhar Maharaj brings up in Prapana Jivanamrita and some of the verses from the scriptures and the saints that he quotes, that if we consider that our Lord is all powerful, then we have nothing to worry about, right? And there's he can do anything that he wants, and as Suhasini said, he loves us, right? It was like he's got our back. So why do we need to fear for anything? And this can pertain to issues within ourself and our own inner struggles, and also things in the environment. And one verse that comes to mind, I know Suvasini likes this verse also very much. It's in Prabhupada Jivanamrita saying, he who can annihilate like all the planets in existence, you think he's not able to destroy, your little faults? Like, don't worry, he'll help you out. He can. You think you're so important and you're so great that nobody can help you, but the Supreme Lord, who controls everything in existence, who's the creator, maintainer, destroyer, you think he can't help you? You think he can't purify you, right? So like when we it's a very nice meditation, right? That everything that's going on is by his will, by his power. It's not like we are approaching something dead and weak, but the Lord is all powerful, alive, and aware, very much aware of our needs. And so what is there to be fearful of? How can we not but be optimistic and confident of the Lord's affection and protection over us? So that's one point here. And let's see. And yeah, this point about the Lord's affection for his devotees is very nice. And in Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary, he quoted some very beautiful verses. One of them it's one of my all-time favorites. Just the sound of it is also very beautiful. The meaning's also beautiful. Sadhavo hridayam mayam. It's the Lord saying, the sadhus, the saints, they are my heart. And sadhunam hridayam tvanam. And, they are my heart and I am their heart. I'm living in their heart and they're living in my heart. Like we are one in that sense. There's such a deep love between us. It's very, very sweet. They don't, mad anyat tena jananti. They don't know anyone but me and I don't know anyone but them. Very deep, profound relationship. It is also very beautiful. And this verse really struck me, partly because I don't remember this verse. This last verse from Bhagavatam that was quoted, Avishmitam tam paripurna kamam. The eternally smiling Supreme Lord is never surprised by anything. I just love that, because I think of myself, like how I'm like reacting all the time, and I'm constantly like surprised or disturbed or shocked or bewildered. Right? Sometimes in the course of one day, you get this piece of information, you get that piece of information, or you deal with your own, stuff coming out, and you're always like spinning around. But the Lord has this equanimity about him. He's smiling and he's not surprised about anything. He's existing on a much deeper plane. There's a deep stillness there. I love that. That's going to be my takeaway from today. The eternally smiling Supreme Lord is never surprised by anything. Very nice. All right. Well, any other thoughts from anyone? What about Gangalila? Oh, and Lynn's also joining us. Welcome, Lynn. I'm just picking on the members here who tend to speak more often, but if anyone else is inspired, I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but of course, always happy to hear from others. But Gangalila usually has some nice insights to share. Okay, well, we can go on and have more shares at the end. Then Suvasini, anything else you'd like to share? Should we go on to the next song? So this next song is this is a somewhat well-known song that we do sing sometimes in our temples. Let me see, maybe I can just play a recording, right? Oh, your speakers are better. Can you bring your phone? We can just play it. I don't want to do a whole screen share thing. Yeah, let's play this song. Our Gurudev liked this song very much, and I've heard Srila Govinda Maharaj reciting this verse once while he was giving a talk. He just spontaneously started like reciting all these verses, but I don't know if I've heard him sing it. But we can sing it. Just open up SoundCloud here. Oh yeah, here we are, the Śaraṇāgati. Sorry, 1 second. Atma Samarpana. The first line just kind of says it all. It's very powerful. Atma Samarpane Gela Abhiman means upon offering myself, my Abhiman, my false ego went away. It left. It's like very, very simple Bengali. Atma Samarpane Gela Abhiman. Offering myself, my ego went away. My false ego went away. And true ego can then arise of being loving servant of the Lord. So this is the cure to ego, right? To offer ourselves Śaraṇāgati. Of course, it can be a painful process. Where's Atma Samarpana? Here it is.
আত্মসমর্পণে গেলায় অভিমান নাই করব নিজ রক্ষা বিধান
Does that sound okay? Or
ধন জানি তোরা কবিনা ধন জানি
is that a little better?
Yes, it's good, Ishaka Didi.
It's okay.
যমুনা তীরে বংশী বাজাও তো ডাকবি ধীরে বংশী বাজাও ভগবগ মারত রক্ষা বিধান ভগবগ মারত রক্ষা বিধান বড় বিছরা তুই গোকুল কান বড় বিছরা তুই গোকুল কান রক্ষা কর বিতু নিশ্চয় জানি রক্ষা করবি নিশ্চয় জানি পান করব হম Jamuna pani. Kali odoko koribi vinasha. Binodi jalo parabiyasha. Biyoto davanolo rakho bimoy. Biyoto davanolo rakho bimoy. Gopal Govinda nam tabo hoy. Gopal Govinda nam. Durupati durmati naso bichari. Durupati durmati naso bichari. Sakhi ke varshane girivarodhari. Sakhi ke varshane girivarodhari. Choturanando paravaja gochuri. Choturanando paravaja gochuri. Rakha karo bimoye gokula hari. Rakha karo bimoye gokula hari. Bhakti binod tua gokula dhan. Bhakti binod tua gokula dhan. Rakho bike sab karo jata. Rakho bike sab karo jata. Bhakti binod tua gokula dhan. Bhakti binod tua gokula dhan. Keshav karo jata. Rakho bike sab karo jata.
It's such a sweet song. Bhakti Vinod is envisioning himself as a cow in Vrindavan. I mean, it's enough to melt anybody's heart. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. Maybe I'll read this. There are a few lines in here which our Gurudev would repeat, you know. He would quote them, a couple lines that fairly often. Maybe I'll just read this translation. By fully offering myself unto you, my false egotism has gone away. So, I mean, what can we say? That's like, we could just talk about that line for the next few hours. Because this is the thing, right? It's a very deep point. What is the false ego doing? The false ego is falsely projecting ourselves and our finite, tiny, temporary interest onto the environment. It's kind of like it's a concoction. We're projecting this concocted reality based on our false sense of identity, right? But when we surrender, we're recognizing what is the actual center of existence, right? We're recognizing a God-centered existence, which is the actual reality, the vastava vastu, the real reality, right? Not the temporary concocted reality which we're being allowed to create, like parents letting children build sandcastles, right? But the permanent reality. So when we're honoring, so by surrendering, we're honoring what is the actual version of things, what is the true center of things. And in doing so, necessarily our own ego must retract, right? And of course, it's a gradual process, right? So that line is so profound. By fully offering myself unto you, my false egotism has gone away. I will no longer make any arrangements to protect myself. O Lord, knowing me to be your property, you will maintain me and keep me with you as one of your protected cows. O Madhava, you will herd me along the bank of the Jamuna. You will play your flute and call me gently. So sweet. By killing Aghasura, Bakasura, so these are all different demons, right, who come to disturb the residents of Vrindavan as part of the play. By killing Aghasura, Bakasura, and so on, you will always make all arrangements for my protection, O Khan of Gokul. Knowing that you will certainly protect me, I will drink the water of the Jamuna, regardless of the fact that it is poisoned by the serpent, Kaliya. So this is the line that I remember Gurudev quoting quite a number of times. Subhas, indeed, you remember also, Guru, yes, she's nodding. Like quite many times I remember Gurudev quoting this. It's very profound. Raksha karobi tu nishchoy jani pana karo. So knowing that like nishchoy means like certainly, with conviction. Raksha, protection. That this is the same word for those who don't know, in Srila Maharaj's name. Part of Srila Maharaj's sannyas title, Rakshak, right? Or Rakak, if you're saying in the Bengali way. It's referring to protection, right? So Srila Maharaj's title is translated often as the guardian, Bhakti Rakak, Bhakti Rakshak, the guardian of devotion, Bhakti Rakshak, Sridhar. So it's a very nice word that is close to our heart. So Raksha Karobi tu Nishtoy. So knowing that you will certainly protect me, Pana Karobu Hamajamuna Pani. I will drink the poisoned waters of the Jamuna. Right? Even though I know the waters are poison, I know that you'll take care of me. There's a type of carelessness actually in the surrendered soul. Of course, this is very elevated. We're speaking in terms of the ideal. And another nice example of this we heard from Gurudev is how, when Aghasura is the giant serpent, right? Serpent demon. And we hear he's so big that it's not even clear what he is. And so he's just like this giant thing, right? And at one point he's like sitting with his open, gaping mouth. And it just looks kind of like a dark, ominous cave. And there are fumes coming. I mean, it looks pretty scary and nasty, right? Fumes coming out and nasty smell. And it's just this dark void, right? But we hear that the cowherd boys, they're playful and curious beings, and they come along and they see this. And they're also like the what do you call it? The fangs. But they're kids, they're boys will be boys, and they're kind of curious. Oh, this looks like it could be fun. And then they're like, well, we don't know what it is, we might get in trouble. But then they say, oh, but Krishna will take care of us. What's the problem? So if there's any issue, Krishna will come. Krishna will take care of it. So we don't have to worry. He's got our back, right? And so they go in, and of course they end up getting swallowed into the mouth, into the belly of the serpent. And of course Krishna comes and rescues them, sure enough. So it's a very beautiful example. This is the confidence, the conviction, and the life of the surrendered soul. Because this is the thing, right? Anxiety, fear, it's a very profound point. This is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Maharaj has elaborated upon it on several occasions, that this Bhayam Dvitiya Biniveshata Syat, this is a famous verse in Bhagavatam. What is the origin of fear? Having second interest, having secondary interest, having selfish interest. It like is a kind of exaggerated example. Someone who's like a thief on the street, they're always a little afraid looking over their shoulder because they know they've done something wrong and they could get caught, right? So consciously or unconsciously, like when we're living with an interest that is not in harmony with the natural flow of things, then we're in anxiety because the universe is not in sync with us, right? We've got our own program, we've got our own agenda. We're not living in harmony with the universal agenda. So there's clashing, right? We've got our relative interest, and then our neighbors got their relative interest, and every other of the 8 billion people in the world today, right? And then some people's interest may be opposite to our interest, right? So there's always this fear that the environment is going to be opposed to us. right? Because we're acting on our own. But when we're living in harmony with the universal interest and we have that awareness of a loving guardian, then there's no need to have anxiety. We've got nothing to hide, right? And we have no agenda of our own. We're living in sync with the universal interest, right? What a wonderful way to live. I hope I get there one day. It's so powerful just to talk about these things and right and hear about these things, even if we're not always able to practice, like just to speak and hear. It's so soothing to the heart, and it all just makes so much sense, right? It's like, what makes more sense than this? It's perfect, 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 perfect. Knowing that you will certainly protect me, I will drink the water of the Jamuna, regardless of the fact that it is poisoned by the serpent, Kaliya. You will absolve Kaliya's offenses, purify the Jamuna's waters, and thus increase my faith. By swallowing the forest fire, you will protect me and thus become known as Gopal and Govinda. Deciding to level the pride of Devaraj Indra, you will protect me from his reigns, O lifter of Giriraj Govardhan. When Brahma will abduct me, you will rescue me, O Lord of Gokul. So it's such a like unique and sweet angle, right? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is like kind of listing all these famous leelas, right? Incidents in Krishna's pastimes, but from the perspective of a cow. It's so sweet. So when Brahma, Marie, are you familiar with all these pastimes by now?
Not all of them. Some of them are sounding very familiar.
Mm-hmm. Well, Indra he's the king of heaven, but he's also the master of rain and other elements.
Okay, yeah. So this is the Govardhan Hill thing. That was the story that caught me, actually.
Yeah, so he becomes outraged because Krishna tells the residents of Vrindavan not to do their usual offerings to the god of rain, Indra, right? Just to worship this Govardhan hill. Govardhan's giving us everything, and forget about Indra. And Krishna's game plan is that he loves Indra and he wants to try and remove his ego, which he does very sweetly. And Krishna lifts the Govardhan hill with the pinky of his left hand, and all the cows and all the cowherd men and women, they all come under that hill. And then another incident, Lord Brahma, who's known as the creator of the material worlds, he's also puzzled. Who's this, overconfident little boy who's everyone's giving so much attention to? And what's with this village, Vrindavan? I don't remember creating this. And they all seem to think Krishna is something special. And so he tests Krishna by abducting all the cowherd boys and cows one day when they're out, and he hides them in a cave. And then he comes back a year later to see how Krishna's doing, and he sees everything's going on just as before, and he sees all the boys and the cows, and he's like, what? And so he goes back and checks on the cave, and he sees they're all there too. And so then he understands, Krishna he's not an ordinary boy, and he's expanded himself into all these forms. And so the cows were also abducted. And so this cow of Bhaktivinoda is envisioning himself in that situation, which is very sweet. When Brahma will abduct me, you will rescue me, O Lord of Gokul. Bhaktivinoda is one of your cows in Gokul. O Keshava, surely you will carefully protect him. Oh, I have a direct message. Which book are we reading from? Someone's asking. We're reading, maybe you weren't here at the the earlier meetings. We're reading from, this is a very special book. Maybe we can share a link. I'll share a link in our chat where you can download. This book is called Śaraṇāgati, which means surrender. And it's a song book, which was composed by, I mean, maybe you're familiar with it already, I don't know. Was composed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Let me see if I can, or if anyone else has it handy, you could share the link in our chat.
I can put it in the chat. I will do that.
Thank you, Didi.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can download that there. And it's a song, but we sing many of the songs here. We sing in our daily programs in our temples. Thank you, Savasini Didi. You know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as our Gurudev said once very charmingly, he's the head of the song department. You know, we sing so many of his songs in our books, and he's, you know, representing the mood of Vaishnavism, and also, you know, illustrating many important points of ontology and philosophy in his simple, sweet songs. So yeah, this is it. And I believe they're available to order if you want a hard copy from our temple in London. And actually, I could, if anybody wants some in America, I could bring some over from London. I'm going to be traveling from London to America. So we could post within America. If anybody wants a hard copy, let me know. Can take care of that. And also Prabhupada and Jivanamrita, they also have copies in London. London's kind of like our book center in some ways at the moment. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Subhasini, do you want to share some thoughts, please?
Sorry, I can't find the mute button. Okay. I don't have much to say. Beautiful song, I can say. That's all. This is very, very nice. You know, confidence in the Lord's protection. It's you know, that is what we need actually. It's so once we have that confidence, you know, as you said, you know, there is no anxiety, there is no, you know, fear. So all these things will go with that. That is what we need to develop, I think, that confidence, knowing that he is our friend, he is our, you know, guardian, to have to understand that, and then the, you know, we are happy. I think we'll be very happy. So, only when we forget that, all the problems come, isn't it? Only that.
Yes. You sit here.
I just want to add something.
Oh, great. Shama Priya wants to share
That
something.
I was reminded with this song about the fact that each demon in the Krishna's pastimes represent some our bad qualities, and I heard the explanation of that. Everything when Krishna conquer the demon, it means that he can help us to conquer our bad qualities. And in this song, we read before that, oh Lord, I'm totally surrendered to you, and now you can help me to fix me, to purify myself. You can do this because I can't. And in the song again, it was like Krishna killed all the demons. So I found this like thin line connected of our bad qualities of our ego, to make make us pure, and in its own it represents like also, please conquer the demons, conquer our qualities and make us pure. I'm totally surrendered to you, and I'm totally in your hands now. I can do anything by my own, only by your grace. So I was reminded that.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. Try. What
I
about-
have something too.
Yes, Kangalila.
I'm sorry about earlier. Like I really have workers in the house, and they were actually calling me because I was not paying attention to them when you called on me. So sorry about that. But what I'm hearing,
Oh. Mm.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. It was like out of my control, but like most of everything being out of my control. And what I'm hearing is you talked about like Krishna. Nothing surprises Krishna, and how you also said that like the criminal walks in the streets always with a bit of fear, and what I'm hearing, what's really coming to me is how it's a fact that when we are in fear, and I know that from myself, when I drop to fear, I'm in survival mode and I'm actually dysfunctional. I'm not my best self. My intelligence is actually dropping. There's tests also done. It's the IQ actually drops when we are in this fear mode. So then we aren't even intelligent anymore. So it's almost like we're dropping to a level of demonhood or something like that, or just being not Krishna conscious, basically, when we are completely in fear. It's impossible, because then I have to just survive. And if I have to just survive, I cannot be Krishna consciousness, because then I have no awareness of there's something bigger here around me and it's already arranged. And also, I like to, my head wants to just make sense and go like, how that's arranged. It's just so genius. So, and I don't think there is that much of thought in arranging either, because it is mysterious. Like, but I try to make it small so that I can digest, basically miracles. And I think it is like something what some people may say, it's stupid to become a believer, because then you're becoming more stupid, because you're having faith that you don't have to do it all. But then now I'm coming around understanding, like, no, there's a really fine line. It's not like a blind faith, like I won't do anything. I'll do my best to, but stay in my capacity and understand my capacity, and also not drop below my capacity, and try not to strive to go beyond and above and to do too much. And I think we're surrounded by people who either underdo or overdo or underthink or overthink. And when I have moments of Krishna consciousness, I'm in my own capacity. I'm actually held in this really amazing way, like where there is no room for anxiety. And I'm for more moments like that. That's kind of coming for me. So it was, even though I had disruption here, but I was really very needy to hear that. So thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that, Gangalila. It's a beautiful meditation. And Marie shared some beautiful quotes in the chat. And what about Kirtida? Would you like to share any reflections? You have your camera on.
Yes, I have feel Dandavat. I feel I've been in the eye of the tornado, a storm lately.
Sorry, you feel in the eye of the storm?
Yes, and it was Krishna, Trinavarita, was it? Who curbed the storm and curbed the tornado. I feel myself, I've been in the middle of the storm lately, yes. Can you please tell a little about that?
Well, there are some moments in our lives when, and I think Gangalila touched on this a little bit too, when you know, we may not be able to, you know, properly adjust ourselves, but because it's too much, like sometimes the circumstances we're going through are too heavy. There's like too much going on that we're not at it, and we're not at enough of a high level of evolution to be able to really adjust with it in a smooth way, right? And in those circumstances, all we can do is hang on. No.
Mm.
Sometimes that's all we can do, you know, and we're just like, we're staying on, but this is the thing, that we're not changing our ideal of life. We're going on with faith in our heart, you know, and God overhead. And there's a beautiful verse by Rupa Goswami where he talks about the chatak bird, right? That's always waiting for those drops of rain, right? Fresh rain. You know, Virachaya Mayi Dandam Dina Bandhu Dayamba. You know, it's a very beautiful prayer, you know, saying it's all this chatak bird is always waiting for fresh rainwater, will never take any ground from the earth. And sometimes that rain will come, sometimes it won't come, or sometimes too much will come. But the bird is waiting, and also stuyate chatakena. Also, that bird is always glorifying the rain cloud. Sometimes the rain cloud is giving sweet rain, sometimes giving a difficult time. But that chatta bird has no other business but to glorify the rain cloud. Right? So we're always in that position of waiting for Krishna's mercy. And we're holding on. We won't change our track in life, right? And sometimes we may be conscious enough to really feel like we're practicing and cultivating in a serious way. And other times we may just feel like we're living in our own mind. And the environment is so overwhelming. Sometimes also health issues can drag us down, right? And we're not able to really practice with clarity. But we still do, you know, we still do go on with our practices, and we're waiting for Krishna's mercy, right? And I feel that that's a type of test of our faith, that, like what's the marriage thing, right? And what is it? In good health and bad health and stuff like that. In good times and in bad times, right? It's like that. It's a commitment, right? And that's it. So that's like a type of test of our faith, or in friendship, right? Through thick and thin. You know, so in the same way, you know, Krishna may sometimes give us the sweet path. Sometimes he gives us the bitter, but we still have no other shelter. And we're still always waiting for his grace, and also seeing how ultimately it is all grace, right? Even if it is difficult. And sometimes in the moment we won't be able to see it, but later we can see how we were adjusted, right? Like, I liked one analogy I heard once. I think it was from Yudamanyu Prabhu, one of our great devotees. He said it is like when we're undergoing surgery under anesthesia, right? There's like, we're under anesthesia, we're not feeling it, but the surgeon is making all these fine adjustments in our body, right? And so similarly, when different circumstances come in our life, they're conspiring to help us. That's the conspiracy, to help us, right? And they're fine-tuning and knocking us this way, knocking us that way. You know, like sometimes I believe Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he gave the analogy of like a bunch of rocks getting tumbled together, and they're getting smoothed at the same time, right? And so different things are coming. and in ways that we may or may not be conscious of, they are helping to correct us. They're helping to correct us. And we have to also recognize that we created this, right? That we brought this in one way or another, right? And it may be difficult, you know, and in my life, I'm always pondering, like, why did I go through this? And why did I go through that? And sometimes it may be years later, I understand like how I was actually at fault, right? Sometimes we may reflect on different exchanges we have with people and we're blaming them. And then years later, we may notice some subtle thing within ourselves, which actually started the whole thing. Oh, actually, I was the one at fault. That all started because I had this tendency, right? So, of course, you know, every circumstance is different, right? But we want to try to have that faith, right? That the environment is our friend. But you know, we have to go easy on ourselves. And sometimes it's just like, okay, it's going to be hard. And that's just the way it is. Maybe I just need to sit and eat a bag of chips right now. That's okay too, you know. Whatever it is, we need some comfort. Make it a little easier. Watch a funny movie. Disrupt our mental cycles, right? You know, we're human, right? And sometimes we just have to accept that we're human. And sometimes we can just hold on and keep going, right? And within our heart, as much as possible, to pray to the Lord for his guidance, for his shelter, for proper vision, right? For proper vision. That is the greatest wealth in this world, to have properly adjusted vision. Because everything is based on perception. With a different filter, we'll see everything differently, right? We'll see everything differently. So we are always praying for that. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitanjena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. This is why Shri Guru is so valuable to us, because they are giving us proper vision. And so if we can go on with that every day, that will help us very much. A little shravan, right? Proper adjusting, hearing from our divine guardians and praying for that adjusted vision. Right? But sometimes we can just be in survival mode. I've been through many periods like that in my life, whether it's because of illness or collaboration in many different circumstances. And it's just like, all I can do right now is survive, you know? Or just now, like some days in Japan, we're so busy, you know, like one program day after day after day, moving like across this side of the city, that side of the city. And we had some very intense day. And then we had different dramas also coming up. And it's just like, okay, I'm putting on my tunnel vision right now. It's just going to survive. Sometimes that's all we can do, you know, not having any deep realizations right now. I'm not experiencing profound bliss, but I'm doing my duty. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. We had some very interesting discussions in Japan, you know, because it's an incredible country and there are so many wonderful qualities to it. But one thing that they struggle with is it's kind of like striving too much for perfection, and you know, like their lives are really based around duty, and so like to the point where it can sometimes become toxic, and they struggle with that. And I had some persons asking me questions like, how do we deal with this? And this was something that one thing that I shared was like we can all learn from that. We can learn from them in that sense, right? That Like in this world, we need duty. In the perfect world and the free world and liberated world, duty is not an issue because everyone's heart is pure, right? In Krishna's world, everyone's just moving with full of love for Krishna's interest. So you don't need rules, you don't need duties. Everyone's just automatically doing the best thing and more, right? But in this world, you know, because it is a degraded world, you know, we need some duty that helps us to have some structure. And so I told them, in this way we can all learn from Japan, you know. But of course, you know, they need to come to a place of love also, but that's another discussion. We did record it. It's available on the Bhakti Yoga Japan YouTube channel. Or will be soon. But yeah, you know, this is where like having some duty and structure in our life helps us, right? That even when we feel things are falling apart, you know, even when things are very challenging, we're going on, you know, with our duty and trying to keep our high ideal above our heads, right? Sometimes we're more aware of it, sometimes less aware, but it's there. We know it's there, and we're still trying to move towards it, or at least keep in sight of it. So, and it's also very comforting to consider that we're all in this together, right? As you may struggle, I struggle, we struggle, you know, and of course, I don't know the exact nature of your circumstances, but everybody's struggling in one way or another, and at different times it may be more or less, right? But we're all in this together, and we can feel some comfort in that, right? We're all in this together, and we're all here for each other. And our Guru Dev is the captain of the ship. And we're always praying, right? We're always in prayer to Guru and Gauranga, praying for their drops of mercy. I hope that's helpful in some way, Kirtida.
Thank you.
I mean, like for me, like just sitting here and talking with all of you about these topics and hearing Bhaktivinoda Thakur and hearing Prapanaji, even like this is the most supremely adjusting thing for me. Like hearing Hari Katha, hearing these talks of, you know, real truth. That when I engage in that, it gives me the most beautiful perspective on things. And I experience time after time who I was before the meeting and who I am after the meeting, two completely different people. It's like, oh yeah, wow. Suddenly everything looks so much better. Suddenly that's not so important anymore. Right. And this is what really matters. Right. What's relevant in my eternal life. And sometimes also it helps me to think of our Guru Dev, because you know, I had the good fortune to be able to stay some years within the vicinity of his divine presence. And, you know, I saw people would bring him so many things like information, reports and letters and we, you know, we got to observe his reactions. You know, like so many occasions, like he just kind of give this blank look, you know, like how does this register as important? Like I see Suvasini smiling. She's thinking of some occasion like that. And it gives you this profound perspective, like, oh yeah, that's down here, and he's living in this huge reality, like he's seeing the infinite, and like, oh, maybe this isn't so important. You know? Like sometimes just thinking of his expression, right, that helps me to adjust myself, you know. That meter, it's like we had like this live meter reading every day, you know. Like what's actually relevant, what's actually important. And how am I really doing, Not just practicing in some ritualistic stereotype way, but like, here's a live meter in front of me. How am I actually doing? Like squaring up with the infinite. Like how does this, how important is this actually? How serious is this actually? So ultimately, proper vision, that is our best friend. That is what we aspire for. And so hearing is so valuable, so valuable. I was thinking it might actually be nice to end our meetings with a little kirtan. Maybe we can sing Hari Haraya. I have it pulled up here. Could you make me a co-host, Suvasanjidi, and I'll do a screen share so everyone can sing. We'll do it without instruments because
Yeah, you're a co-host. Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Where's the screen share then?
And Marie has put some comments on the chat. Oh,
Okay, nice. Where's the screen share? Share screen, here we are. Here we go. So I'm thinking we just sing it all together. We don't need to do call and response, and we can just clap maybe. So leave your mics on if you feel comfortable, and we can all sing. Or I don't know, maybe that won't work. Oh no, it won't work. And then just saying, okay, yeah, with the time lapse. Okay, well then, okay, let's just sing. We'll sing all together. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shivasani Gaur Bhakta Jai Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana Jahawaite Vignana Shamishta Purana Echai Gosai Janui Tanadasa Kansa Bada Pada Denu Mada Panchagrasa Tadera Charana Sebi Bhakta Sanevasa Janame Ho Abhilasha Echai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilambasa Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Kodila Prakasha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Amala Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Kodiyasha Ram Sankirtana Kohe Narottamanda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda, Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Really, oh.
Jai Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki Jai, Shri Śaraṇāgati ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Sundar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati ki Jai, all the assembled devotees, sincere seekers ki Jai.
Jai.
Vasani Didi ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Bol. Vishaka Didi ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Nitai Gaur. Hari
Haribol.
Bol.
Okay, well, been such a wonderful meeting with all of you. And yeah, well, I think we'll continue next Wednesday if that works for everyone. And also I'm happy to continue with the Thursday meeting. I don't know if it still works for you, Marie. Tomorrow I'm actually traveling to Portugal at the same time as the meeting, but I think from next Thursday we can resume. So
I have kept the spot clear.
okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, well, hope you all have a beautiful week and weekend ahead, and we'll meet again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Vishaka,
much.
good to be back. Yay.
Ramananda Prabhu, any last words you want to share with our group today?
No, thank you. It was amazing. You reminded me about Gurudev, many things he used to talk about. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So happy you're back.
Happy to be back. Happy to see you.
Yeah. That was very good.
That's thank you.
Suvasini Didi, thank
Thank
you.
you. That was so awesome.
Dandavats everyone. Dandavats Raman.
Thank you so much, Didi, and everyone.
Dandavats. Dandavats.
Dhanyavad.